Okay, this is a tutorial for the Infoboard part of the project. I will send you some files, After Effects files. This one is 5 ways to how are you Infoboard. And if we look, the very first element is main and render queue. We can ignore these for now. And what we want to do, okay, so we have Infoboard comp 1 here, comp 2, comp 3, and it goes all the way down to comp 40. Now you probably won't be using all of the comps. It depends on the lesson. So first what we're going to do is go to Infoboard comp 1, and right now you can't see anything. That's because these elements are staggered and they only appear around here. So let's move the timeline cursor until we see something. Okay. So if we look here at our text file, 5 ways to how are you Infoboard script. So this is the Infoboard script, and you can see that this is one group, this is one group, this is one group. These are all separated by groups. So how are you is right here. So for this Infoboard comp 1, we only have this text. That's it. Finished. And this will be the first text element here, text 1. See, if we unhide it, it goes away. So what I want you to do is first check here. See, that's number 1, and then all the rest that we're not using, let's just unhide them like that. Okay, then we go next, comp 2. Double check it. How are you doing? Or how? So this is going to be 3 lines, and we can see that here we have how are you doing or how's it going. That's fine, right? So that's going to be 1, 2, and 3, which means that we don't need 4, 5, 6, and 7. So let's go ahead and unhide those, or I'm sorry, hide those. And let's see. Let's set this up so it's easier. And we're just going to use this to help us double check all of the text and then hide the elements that we're not using. Okay, so this is 2, so this is 2. All right, next is going to be comp 3 right here. So go here, and you can see it's right here, no problem. And we're just going to hide the rest. Okay, then 4. We'll go here. This is 3 lines, so 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to hide the rest. And you can see good, how are you good? Yeah, so that's all of it. Later on, we're going to move it around so it looks nicer, but not right now. Go to a comp 5, and you're going to do the same thing. Pretty good, not bad. That's going to be the first 2, 1, 2. So here we're just going to go and delete, or I'm sorry, not delete, hide. And we're going to do that for all of these groups. Okay? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do some of this. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, so that one's here. Alright. That's not bad. Yeah. Alright, so let's go 7. 7. And you, that's 1. That's good. So get rid of all the rest. Alright, comp 8. How about you? Yep, that's good. So get rid of the rest. Great. This one has 4, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. All those are okay, so we'll get rid of these. Okay, this one's got 2, so 1, 2, so we'll get rid of these. This one's 1, so we'll hide those. Can't see it, but where are we? 12, I think we were at. Yeah, 12. Right here, this one. Okay, so that's 3. So 1, 2, 3. All right. Next, 13. It's going to be 2, so these will hide. This one's 3, so we'll just hide these. This one is, that's 2, so we're going to hide that one. Let's see, 16. Maybe, where's maybe? Right here. So it's going to be 2. Alright, let's go ahead and move that down. And what is that? That's 16, so we'll go 17. So let's find 17 here, easier. Okay, so 17. Of course, that's 2. Alright, so get rid of these. 18. That's, yep, it's 3, so hide these. I think it's the same. Okay, hide that one. Okay, 20 that you can use. Alright, it's only 1. So we'll get rid of those, or hide those. Not so good, that's 2. Okay. So good, and then how's it going? Now this one you gotta be a little careful. Okay, so we only see 1, right? How's it going? And it should have 2. So if we click on this text 2, it should come up. It's not. I wonder why. I'll have to double check that. I might have missed it. We'll go ahead and just do 2 right there. I'll look at that later. Okay, 23. I think this is the same. Right, so go ahead and get rid of these. Okay, 23. So let's. Okay, 23. So 24. What's wrong? That's only 1. So there you go. 25. There's 3 of them. So we'll hide these. Okay, next one's 3 as well. So 1, 2, 3. So we'll get rid of 4. Yep, that's right. And then the next one's 4. So we'll just get rid of these. Hide those, I'm sorry. And then these are last 2, so do that. Okay, so, and then because this lesson only goes down to comp 28, the rest of these we don't have to mess with. So we're just going to be doing all of them from 1 to 28 right here. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to scale the text lines and then align them. Okay, so what I mean is this here we have 1 text element. That's it, just 1. And this is kind of small. I mean, this is a lot of open space. So what we're going to do is we're going to scale this. So to scale it, I'm going to click on this element and I'm going to press S on the keyboard, and that opens up the scale switch. And then here, either one's fine because it's locked, it's linked. We're going to move this a little larger. Now, when you scale it, it scales from the center, so it might come out like this. So you can just click on it and bring it over like this. And yeah, you know, I mean, there's no special number. So, you know, something like about this size I think is good. Easy, maybe easy to read. And then once we scale it, we're going to try to align it. Now let me show you a little trick when you're aligning things. Where are we? There is a couple of tools that you can use here to help you align things. Okay, so one of them is Title Action Safe. It just gives you these kind of lines that can help you better measure if something's in the center or not, you know. It doesn't have to be exactly the center either, but that tool can help you, or the proportion. This can help you as well. That would be, I'm clicking right here, and then open up proportional grid, you know, so this kind of can tell you. You can look here and go, okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So halfway is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. That's half. So yeah, we can move this over just a tad this way. And that can kind of help you. It's all preference, whatever you like. This one, whatever. Then we're done for that one. So we're going to go to the next comp and we're going to do the same thing. Now, here we have 3, so it's a little more difficult. We want to scale. We want to scale them. But you have to first take the longest sentence, okay? And then scale that to where you think it looks okay. You know, something like that, okay? And then what I want you to do is, so that was 206. So the other two, let's make them 206 as well. Now you can click on this, and just like we did, you can move it over, but that's a little difficult, you know. Another thing you can do is click on it, and then you just click one time over the click one time over the number, and then you can type in 206. Click outside of the box and it'll automatically do it for you. So we want to first take the longest text line, scale it to where it's easier to read, then take the other text lines and then match the scale so they're all the same size. Then what we're going to do is I want you to align them. Okay, so like we just talked about, you know, so here we have 3, and I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to come in later and mess around with it. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but just, you know, use your own discretion. Now this "or" needs to come down and probably go in the middle. Something like this. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to be fixing it later, or going through it and checking it later anyway. But you know, this is kind of good. This isn't bad. And that's what we're going to do for each one. Now, as you can see, the fonts that we're using right now are all kind of different. And again, don't worry about that. I will go through that and fix that as well. So here we have Infoboard Comp 3, and we have 2. Okay. And we can see that is this the second one or the third one? No, the second one is pretty long, right? So first, let's see how long it is. Let's bring that out. Okay, so this one looks almost pretty much at max, right? If we scale it up anymore, it's going to be probably too big, not look correct. So I think that's fine. Let's see the scale. So let's click here on this text element right here, text 2, hit S, and that'll tell us that it's scaled at 140. So we're going to scale this at 140 as well. So let's just do 140, and there we go, 140. Then let's try to align them a little bit to this kind of center. It doesn't have to be a center, but where it looks a little nicer, you know. Let's see, this one should go over a little bit, something like that. And that's what we're going to do for all of these. Here, let's do one more. So here we have how are you, good, or good, how are you, good. All right, so how are you, I think, is the longest. So let's hit S to bring up the scale. Well, I don't know about, I think that looks pretty good right there. 240, what was that, 227? All right, so let's do these same size. So 227, and then this one as well, S, 227. There we go. And then we're going to move these around. So generally you want to move it in the same order. So the number 1 will be closer to the top. Number 2 is going to be in the middle, and then number 3 is going to be kind of down like this. Okay. So you can click on the element and move it around like this, or you can go over here, click, and then do arrow keys or shift arrow keys to move them around, whatever you prefer. Let's see, how are you? Something like that. Good. something like that. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do that for all of these here, all the way down to 28. Okay. All right. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is sync the animation of the text to an audio file. Okay. So here we have an audio file. This is a WAV file. And if you click on this WAV file and you want to see the waveform, some people like to, some people you don't need it. You can click on this and hit LL, and now you can see the waveform. We're going to align this with this text. Now this text animate starts right here, because this is text 1, and then this is where it starts. So what we want to do is bring our cursor over here. Now we can see the waveform, so we know that it starts right here. So I'm going to click on this here, and then once you click on it and you hold it, you can move it around. I'm going to move this over here. Now be careful, you can move it too far. What you can do is, when you click on it and hold it, hit shift, and it'll kind of snap to certain areas. So for example, if you have your cursor here and you hit shift, it'll snap to the cursor, or it'll snap to the beginning. And that's what we want. So if we listen,
how are you?
There, it's perfect. Now to listen, you put your cursor over the timeline somewhere and you hit spacebar, and that'll play.
How are you? In their first English class.
Perfect. How are you is on, and we're good. So what we're going to do next is comp 2. So here we have the listening, the audio file, LL. Now here we have how are you doing, or how is it going. So within this, they're probably going to say how are you doing first. Let's take a listen. So hit spacebar.
As a beginner student.
Hold on. Okay, so let's see. Hit the spacebar.
We can also say, how are you doing?
Okay, so we can see that the audio from here says, how are you doing? So we want this text element to come on at this point. Now again, this doesn't have to be 100% perfect. It could be a little early. You really don't want it to be late, but it doesn't have to be down to the millisecond. It could be just a little early is fine too. So we're going to click on this, hold it down, hit shift, and it's going to snap to where the cursor is. Then this is probably going to be or. Let's listen.
Or.
Yep. So take this element here, hold it down, hit shift, it'll snap to place, and then obviously this one's going to be the last how is it going. So click on it, shift, right there to space. Okay, and now if we check it, we can see.
Say, how are you doing?
Okay, that came on good.
Or, how's it going?
Perfect, right? And see how it's aligned with the audio? Let's do one more. So here we have, how are you? These are a little more informal and natural. Let's see.
How are you? And these are a little more informal and natural.
Okay, so we're going to go here and do LL to look at the waveform.
How are you?
We can see that how are you comes on in the beginning. So we're going to click this, and we can see it's already at the beginning, so we really don't have to
how are you?
Do anything. But we need this one to come on at a different time.
These are...
Okay, so here it is, these. So we click on that, hold it, shift, and it goes, snaps right there.
These are a little more informal and natural.
Perfect. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to trim the comp, this work area, to the end of the audio. Okay, so what do I mean? Well, right now this comp is 30 seconds long, but this audio is only like 5 seconds. So we don't need all of this. Okay, so what we want to do is go to the timeline here, and go to the end to this blue point. Click and hold, and then move it over here. Now again, just like we did, if you hit shift and move it over, it's going to snap to the end of this. And now we have our clip that is the same length as this audio. Okay? Then what we're going to do is go up to composition, trim comp to work area, click that, and now we can see that our clip is only 5 seconds long. Let's try another one. So we're going to go to the end of the timeline, hit this blue button right here, click, hold it, hit shift. Now if you do shift, you'll see that it'll start to snap to all of the ends of these different elements. So we want it to snap here at the end of the audio. Okay, that's good. And go up to composition, trim to work area, and there we go, just like that.